market's hot. The market's very, very active. There's a lot of buyers and sellers. There's people. We're doing every good airplane that we have that comes on the market seems to sell very, very quickly. Clearly, the U.S. market is the hottest, although we're starting to see signs in Asia that it's picking up, and then Europe's recovering. It's got to. The Trump bump has lasted. I mean, it's hard to say why. It's hard to see, but corporate profits are very good here. So, the market's at an all-time high. So we're feeling like things are, and people are generally optimistic. So the buyers that we're talking to are interested in upgrading. It's not a question of, hey, I need to get out of my airplane and the market's gone, the world's going to heck. It's really, it's buyers are looking to upgrade. We're seeing a huge influx of first-time buyers, and it might be because the value of a new airplane is somewhere not that much more than maybe the quarter share they were buying before. So there's this huge influx of new and young buyers, which is exciting to us because we're generational, this business. So it's a very good market right now, and we think it feels like it's going to last for a while. So the expectations of sellers and buyers, I think they are getting closer together. Certainly, if you go buy a car today, and I've been saying this since 2009, if you go buy a TV, you want to get a great deal. If you buy a house, you want to get a great deal. So, yeah, the expectation of the buyer is he's getting a great deal, but there's also this realism on the part of the seller that, and because at least our sellers are usually going to something different, and when they're upgrading, they're profiting more from what they're upgrading to than what they're selling. So we're not struggling with this with expectations of buyers and sellers. I've heard people say that deals are getting harder and harder to do, and I'm not seeing that. I think that people are now moving quickly. I think the best airplanes are not lasting long on the market. If you've got an airplane that's in an exotic location that's been smoked in with damage history, yeah, it's hard to sell. Or your expectation on pricing isn't real, but when a good airplane comes on the market and 40 days later we've got a buyer and it's going into pre-buy, you've squeezed that expectation between the buyer and the seller, and I don't think the deal is harder. So, when we talk to first-time buyers, we have a saying that we don't like to dive into the deep end, we like to walk into the shallow end. So when we're advising first-time buyers, we tend to look at trying not to buy the most airplane they can get for their money, not to buy the biggest airplane they can get for whatever their budget is, but to focus more on the operating costs and how they're really going to use the airplane. With this influx of first-time buyers, they're savvy about airplanes, and they're savvy about how they've used airplanes in the past, but we want to be careful that we're just not, because it's very attractive right now. You can buy a lot of airplane for, I don't care what price value you're at. So we just want to be careful about what are the long-term ongoing expenses and the things that will surprise you. So if you go spend $4 million on an airplane and then you get $1 million C-check surprise, that's a big number. So we tend to want to help them understand what their real risk in owning an airplane is.